name's Nicole Fye, and alongside me, as always, is the amazing Nick Cousin and Kevin Gray, too. All jokes aside, though, we have a fantastic show for you all tonight with the best commentary in town on the lineup: baseball, softball, men's and women's basketball, golf, and so much more. Stick around because you don't want to miss these plays.
Kansas baseball currently in the bottom of the ninth inning with 2 outs, and Matt McLaughlin's up to the plate. Jovan Afner just hit a sac fly. The bases were loaded with 2 outs in the ninth. It's 4-3. Kev, you saw the majority of this game. What happened early on?
You know, it was really early on. There was a lot of bad pitching. There were 3 errors on one play where the pitcher threw to first base and throw after throw after throw just kept missing, allowing the UNC player to score. That was their first run. And other than that, there were other bad pitching mistakes, and the offense really didn't get going until late in the game. And now they've scored 2 runs in the bottom of the ninth, and there are 2 outs, like you said. Bases loaded earlier. We'll see what happens next.
Well, actually, McLaughlin just hit a single, bases loaded. 2 outs, yeah, 2 outs. So still 4-3. Still a chance. And what were you?
Do you taste that, Nicole? I taste a comeback. 2 outs in the ninth inning. It's going to happen. You heard it here first. Don't want to be wrong, though. Don't want to be wrong.
You might have just jinxed him, Nick. Goodness. All right, Kyle.
Sorry. I can't make all the plays. Sorry. Can't make all the plays. All right, well, let's move on to softball, Nicole.
All right. Softball actually went 2-3 this weekend at the Fresno State Open. The team is now 4-6 on the season after going 2-3 for the second weekend in a row, this time at the Fresno State Kickoff Classic. The Jayhawks' 2 wins came against UC Riverside and Sacramento State, but they would lose 2 to Fresno State. In the 5th and final game against Riverside again, the Jayhawks were tied 4-4 in the bottom of the 7th until a walk-off home run took it home for the Highlanders. KU led for the first 3 innings of that game, and though they have a lot to look forward to this season, head coach Megan Smith was quoted saying, "We've got to get better, and that's the bottom line." So Nick, Kev, what's going on here?
I mean, they're staying in games offensively, but it's coming down to the final innings, as we saw two losses with walk-offs, and so the pitching's got to get it together. We'll talk about a little bit of the pitch struggles later, but that's really where I see the problems is a lot of that young pitching. They're not finishing games.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like you said, the offense is there. They won a game 9-0, which is, I mean, they're scoring a lot of runs. They just can't keep it together in those late innings. Like you've said, they gave up 2 walk-off losses on the weekend, so it really is the back end of their bullpen.
Bases loaded, 2 outs, 4-4.
Yep. Baseball update, bases loaded, 4-4. What is his name? Tinsley. Excuse me. Tinsley walked. Scores tied 4-4.
Did I not call that?
Nick.
Did I not call
I'm
that?
scared.
Don't jinx it yet, Nick.
Yeah, Podiatrix at the plate. Okay, and back to softball.
Okay, let's get into the pitching as we talked about, Kev. A lot going on, and we're going to break down some of their season so far. Who's really struggled so far for the Jayhawks? Nia Williams, she's had 6 appearances, 4 losses. You look at that high ERA, 8.84. That's way too high. Giving up a lot of hits, gave up a lot of home runs. She pitched a lot in that first weekend, last weekend. And then you look, Andy Formby, she's had the most impressive season probably. The most wins, the most innings pitched, and the most strikeouts. And the second lowest ERA in the team. So the transfer from Virginia, she's doing a lot of good stuff in the rotation. And then Ania Williams, The lowest ERA, it's really impressive ERA, 1.76 ERA, but not a lot of strikeouts and also 2-1 record. And she made her first career start this weekend. Pitched a career shutout for her first career shutout against Sacramento State.
Yeah, the one loss you talked about was a walk-off. It was the walk-off home run. So she was there early, but she just lost it at the end of the game.
That's tough.
It is.
All right, coming up, we get back to the basics. The men's team actually took to I-70 for the latest installment of the Sunflower Showdown. And remember, K-State won a year ago, and the fans stormed the court and started pushing Kansas players around. Now, fast forward to this year, Kansas, with a 2-game lead in the Big 12, looks to avoid the first 3-game skid in Manhattan in over 30 years.
And we'll get to those highlights after the break. When we come back, Kev will give those up to us. Stay tuned.